Welcome to the MLC, which stands for the Myster Lemba Channel. This is your host and your brother, Myster Lemba. Today, one of my Patreon subscribers wrote me an email. He said he would like to have some game. He has zero confidence. He doesn't know what to do. He has a difficult time approaching women, and yes, he is 25 years old. At the age of 25, he has one baby mama, the only woman he ever slept with, which he is no longer with. However, once in a while, he still fools around with her sexually. However, he has a hard time making and holding eye contact with people. This includes even having a conversation with a man. This brother needs help, and this is why I am here. So go ahead and do me a favor and kick your feet up, grab yourselves a cold drink. It is time for the men to talk. Confidence. A topic well debated amongst the dating coaches, but I'm here to give you the balance and the real, because that is what I do. Now, on one hand, you have some dating coaches that says, in order to have confidence, you must accomplish certain things. And through what you accomplish and the physical manifestations of your accomplishments, you will gain confidence. But until you have done something, you have nothing to be confident in. On the other hand, we have a less tangible approach. We have an approach that says it is within the confidence is brewed. It is created from within you. From within you, you believe in who you are, and that belief and that trust and that confidence of who you are and what you're capable of doing is what pushes you and propels you to accomplish those physical things. And those physical things are the result of the confidence you already had from within. Very great points on both ends. And honestly, I believe the answer, as always, as you can always expect from the Myster Lemba Channel, the answer is right down the middle. The answer is neither side. The truth is, it is right down the middle. It's almost like the idea of what came first, the chicken or the egg. You see, when a man accomplishes something, he naturally grows confidence. So that side is true. But in order to accomplish anything, in order to even try anything, you must already believe that you can do such a thing. Unless you accidentally accomplish something great, which is rarely the case. But this is my approach to igniting confidence. This is my approach to believing in myself. Number one, do not give a crap what anybody else believes. One more time, do not care what anybody else have to say. When it comes to me, there is a level of arrogance. And I mean that in a humble way, even though that sounds like a contradiction. There is a level of arrogance to my confidence. And I believe for some brothers who completely lack confidence, like this young man at the age of 25, and even those who are younger and older, you need to have a level of arrogance where you literally believe that you are the ish. Why would you believe that? Well, you can answer that with, why not? Once again, do you believe that other people are more valuable than you? Don't look at their possessions. Look at them as the meat sacks that they are. They are human beings that walk, that sweat, that farts, defecate, sleep, grow old, and die. That is who they are, just like you. So what makes their opinion more valuable than yours? Let me add to that. If their surrounding, meaning other people in society, favor their opinion over yours, what makes you think that society is not a cluster of morons to begin with? Once again, there is a level of humble arrogance, if that makes any sense, to my confidence. You see, geniuses are usually the minority. Historically speaking, when there is a genius, the majority of society disagrees with such a genius. The majority of people have an opinion that is contrary to this one man or woman. However, we find later on in the future, later on down the line, that it was this one individual that was right. It is their name that is forever etched into history. It is their name that is carved and engraved throughout history as the genius that was not appreciated, the person that was ahead of their time. It took a level of arrogance for such a genius to step forward and speak their mind. It doesn't matter if they're Albert Einstein, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Nat Turner, or Galileo. It doesn't matter if they are the Christ and the Messiah of the Hebrew people. There was a genius who believed something, and everyone else said no. My point that I'm making is this: just because the majority agrees with someone and opposes you does not mean the majority is right. On the contrary, my brother, the majority is usually dumb. Now you may ask, what does that have to do with my confidence? Once again, it goes back to number one. Do not give a crap what anybody thinks. Do not give a crap what anyone believes. What makes them important? Absolutely nothing. They are a walking, aging, defecating, consuming, sweating human being. They are an animal, like every other animal. Now you may say they have a soul and that gives them an intrinsic value. I am not demeaning human life by any form or any shape. The point I'm trying to make is that what makes you tremble when their opinion differs from yours? Now, you say you have a hard time looking at people in their eyes. Why? Do you care that they are judging you? Do you care that they might think you don't look good? You know, let me give you a quick story. When I was a bit younger growing up, I would notice that there were guys shorter than me. I'm above 6 feet tall. There were guys who didn't look as good as me, who were getting women when I was not. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I figured out, simple, these women must be stupid. Now, of course, I had my own flaws. Maybe I never approached. Maybe I did not know how to realize a choosing signal. There were issues on my end. As a man, I had to look within and see my own mistakes. I was not looking at myself, but I had so much confidence to the point where it leaned towards arrogance. Something must be wrong with them. That's a good thing. Now, it shouldn't be to the point where it becomes toxic, where you think you have no place to improve yourself. But the point is, I figured these women just didn't know what they were talking about. They didn't know what they were doing, or they were foolish, which to some degree is true. Now, once I started to break out of my shell and I started to deal with women more, of course, this was my middle school days. I started young, you know. I started to try to talk to girls more, my age and older. And I started to realize that some people would try to push me back into my shell. People would try to say, oh man, maybe you just don't know how to dress. Maybe you're just ugly. Some women would take pleasure in just rejecting. And you know what my response were? She has bad taste. She has bad taste and poor vision of a good and a great man. Once again, a level of confidence does lean towards arrogance. There is a borderline arrogance in there. And I'm building your confidence here from the angle of within. Because in the sense of exterior, you may believe you don't look good. You may believe you're not tall enough. But I just told you, there were guys shorter than I am that did not look as good as I look. And I believe that in my opinion. All right. And they were getting more women than I was. So what's wrong with this picture? Until I started talking to women, and I didn't realize how many women secretly liked me and didn't say a word. I had to come out of my shell. Now, let's address the point where you say you couldn't look at a man in his eyes. Man or women. Let's take males to start with. Of course, you don't like men. So you're not worried about a man finding you not physically attractive. That's none of your problem. So you would naturally not be worried about a man. Now, are you physically afraid for whatever reason that you will be attacked? Now, usually by the age of 25, adults tend not to get into scuffles unless you're putting yourself in a bad neighborhood or a bad social gathering area. So usually that's not the issue. Now, I would suggest to you to take some martial arts class, not because you plan on getting into fights, because that simply builds your confidence. Now, as a man, I took martial arts. So when I stood and start looking at another man, I like to make sure that my presence is known. As a man, I like to make sure that my masculinity is known. So when I see another man, I look at him in the eye, and I feel that I'm either equal or greater, but never less. Once again, you may have nothing physically to back that up, but internally, you must believe that you are the ish, which is why your confidence will lean towards arrogance. I'm pausing because I want this to sink in again. It keeps leaning towards a level of arrogance. Now, in order to prove it's not just arrogance, you must work physically also and accomplish things. This is how you prove things to yourself, which means you should be more afraid of you than you are afraid of other people, because you must always live with yourself. You came in with yourself, you will go out with yourself. Now, when I shake another man's hand, I look at him in the eye. And I know you have a hard time doing that. And I believe when I'm talking to him that I have substance, that I belong in the table of manhood. I believe when I speak, my words matter. I believe when I have a conversation, people should listen, because I am of great importance. Royalty have stepped in. No reason to be afraid. What is he going to do? He's a man, right? That makes him physically stronger than women. That probably make him larger than women in size. Bone density, facial hair, a deep voice. But guess what? Those are also my qualities. What's to be afraid of? Testosterone makes him strong physically. And I have a lot of that pumping through my own veins. So we're going to talk. We're going to have a conversation. He's going to state his opinion. I'm going to state my own. He will state some facts. I will state my own. We can respect each other and have a brotherhood together, as we have right here in the MLC. The other option is Let's say he becomes out of control and he decides to impose his will on me. I will impose my will back and push him off. You understand? In other words, he wants you to conform to whatever philosophy he has. You disagree. So what? You push back with your disagreement. If it becomes physical, what are you afraid of? You're physically as strong. It doesn't matter if a man is larger. A man is a man. And large men get taken down anytime, any day. You step up, you plant your feet, and you knock him out. I'm not saying to do violence, but I'm saying, what can he do that you cannot do? The last time I checked, we all here stand up and pee. When we take a piss, we all stand up and take a piss. We all got hair on our chin. We ought to take it off every morning, or we let it grow out. We all got hair on our chest. We all got some bass in our voice. We all are some men. Because there is a level of fear. Because you're worried of the person's criticism of you, or you worried that they can physically harm you. You worried what they may think of you. But once again, who are they? You must not give a crap. We still on number 1. You must not care. What can they do to you, and why do their opinions matter? Once you can convince yourself as to why their opinion matters, then you're good to move on. Because I could guarantee you, you will not find one reason why their opinion matters. They don't put food on your table. They can't take food off your table. They don't give you life, most importantly. So once again, now let's move on to the female. When you talk to a woman, understand she looks to be conquered. So what happens when she gives you a little pushback when you approach her to talk to her? Nothing. What can she do? Nothing. Let's say she becomes loud and says something stupid and try to be disrespectful. Now let's say you are in a party setting. Let me paint the picture for you guys. Let me give you a visual. You grab your glass, you stand tall, your chin is high. You look at her. She says something stupid. Before she finishes her sentence, start walking. What's the problem? There's no quicker way to make a woman feel stupid than to keep walking while she's still talking. Once again, what are you afraid of? What can she do? I'm going to hit you with the most important part towards the end. So hang on tight. But for right now, I'm giving you why you should be confident. People ain't ish, man. I'm not saying that human lives don't matter. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying they are just people. They are animals of higher intellect, which most of the time, most of them don't use their higher intellects. Most people are basic. They eat, they breed, they defecate, they grow old, and they die. Very simple. Nothing to fear. You're going to walk in because your life matters, because your opinion matters. You're going to look at someone in the eyes and speak with confidence because you believe you're smart, because you believe you should be speaking. You look at the world around you and you see many idiots in charge. Many idiots are in charge. Many idiots are speaking their opinions. You see it in your jobs, in your workplace. Why? Because a lot of them are too stupid to know that they shouldn't be in charge. So by speaking confidently, even though what they're saying is stupid, they still manage to get put in high positions. Sometimes you get what you want simply by speaking up. Now, if you are a man of the Bible, it talks about knocking and you shall receive. The door shall open. And asking and you shall receive. Now that is to God, but the same goes in life. If you don't ask for what you want, you will not get what you want. If you don't knock on the doors that contains what you want, it shall never open for you. And some men are not even seeking that door. They're not even trying to ask that question. A woman cannot hurt you, bro. You know, just by talking to her. I mean, of course, there are legal things that we could talk about, but that's a different story. That's not what you're worried about right now. You can't make eye contact. Once again, another scripture. The Bible says that the eyes are a window to the soul. Have you ever locked eyes with a woman and look at her with pure confidence? Watch her look down real quick, look back up at you, look down and smile, and now she becomes incapable of looking back up. Watch her grab her own arms by crossing them together. Watch her shoulders fold in. You have dominated her with your sight. When a woman looks at you in your eyes, and you look away and you look down, she have dominated you with her sight. She have submitted you. You have folded, and she no longer wants you. When you're dealing with women, when you want to approach them, you say that you see your friends approaching women with ease. You need to also not worry about what to say. A lot of guys talk about what should they say to women. My brother, talk to the woman. Just talk to the woman. Open subject and talk. You can easily let a woman know that you are interested in her and then proceed into conversation. She knows why you are there. You understand? Proceed into having a conversation. That's all you're doing. There is no pretty lines to say. There's nothing cheesy to say. You're just talking to the woman. Now, once again, for you guys who are listening and have the same problem, your confidence is really based on you not giving a crap. That's number one. You guys are still waiting for more numbers. You shouldn't give a crap what people think. Let me simplify this for you. If I had to condense the video real quick, most people aren't that smart. You shouldn't care what they think about you. Most people hold no power, so they have no influence over your life. You shouldn't care what they think. Most people's opinions are not superior to yours, so you shouldn't care what they think. That puts you in a state to speak your mind. Are you worried about your looks? Well, what are your looks? Your looks are genetic codes and information passed down from your ancestors, your mother, your father, and your grandparents, and further back. What does that mean? Somebody found them attractive enough to breed with them. Once again, you can't look that bad, because someone will also find you attractive enough to breed with you. Now, for this guy, you already have a child, which means somebody likes you enough to sleep with you. You guys just didn't work out. Guess what, my brother? There are other women out there who also find you just as attractive. There are other women out there who also find you just as attractive. Get with them And remember, if they reject you, they just got bad taste. Keep working on your game. Look at some PUAs. Look at some dating coaches. Keep working on your game. Which is your strategy. That's what game is. If you're confused, your strategy. And trust me, the best strategy is to not lack confidence. It's better that you're arrogant than to be a wimp. Women don't appreciate that. Neither will you get them like that. If you're approaching them being weak, if you're approaching them not being solid or firm, you will not get them. Let me put it to you this way. It is better to offend her. That doesn't mean physically touch her. That's not what I'm saying. I mean verbally what you say. It is better to do something that might offend a woman than to look like her priest. I paused because I wanted that to sink in. If you're too soft, too nice, too much of a Renaissance man without the warrior side, she will take a massive crap on you. But even if she takes a crap on you, even if she does not give you what you want, even if she doesn't comply, you shouldn't care about what anybody thinks. Do what's good for you, as long as you keep your ethics, your morals, and you stay within the boundaries of the law. Try to practice number one, guys. Don't give a crap what anybody thinks. Most people are stupid, and the majority is usually wrong. I know we live in a democracy for most of us, but the majority is usually wrong. And your state capitals and governments will most likely reflect just how dumb the majority is. With that said, stop caring what people think. Stop caring what people think. Once again, stop caring what people think. All of you guys, look at your politicians across the globe. This is not just a US comment that I just made. Look at them. Most of them are not necessarily that bright. They are there because they knew somebody. And some idiots in a group was stupid enough to vote for them. This is why geniuses are in the minorities all the time. Stop caring what they think. Care what you think. Be more afraid of you than anybody else. There is nothing another man have that you lack. Nothing that you could be born with that they have that you lack. They're attractive. Someone will find you attractive. More than one. Believe me. Okay? Money doesn't count. That comes in later. That is something everybody could work on. You may not be as tall as him, but you're taller than somebody. There are women who are like short men. Your confidence needs to actually lean towards some arrogance. You need to believe that you're the ish. And there is no reason that that sack of meat over there should be more important than you. You're both flesh and blood. You're both human beings. And he's probably not that smart. Neither is she. Take a martial arts class, get some boxing, get some judo, get some jiu-jitsu, get some Muay Thai. Learn how to defend yourself. Build some confidence. Because you know why? When you take martial arts, you're going to realize if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to get your butt kicked every time. Even when you're bigger and stronger than the opponent. That is why. In every move you make, you must commit to it. Otherwise, it is incomplete and you will fall. Every action you take, you must believe it can work. That is how you will execute the moves in the defense, in the offense. Take some time, take some martial arts, get in the gym, work on yourself, read some books on self-development, listen to some of these PUAs and dating coaches. and not care what anybody thinks. Submit people with your eyes. Pierce through their soul with the looks in your face. Nod your head when they speak. Question them. Move your hands. Move your arms. Be confident. Don't tremble for anybody. Take it from the MLC. Until next time, stay confident.